Screencast will show you how to create a works cited page with MLA format as you write your essay. It'll also show you how to cite your sources within the essay. These are called in-text citations, sometimes called parenthetical citations. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to we're going to log into Haiku class first. And then on Haiku class, we're going to go to research. Now when research loads, we're going to see on the right-hand side resources, there's a new page called MLA citing your sources. And when you click on that page, it takes you to a link for a Google Doc. When you click on that link, it's going to open up this Google Doc here. So there's a number of resources in this Google Doc. Creating a works cited page from the Purdue University Online Writing Lab, the in-text citation page also from Purdue, and creating a hanging indent on Google Docs. These are all for your review. And I'm going to show you how to do this in the screencast. And then if you want to read more about it, or if you forget how to create a hanging indent, you can find out how to do that in these pages right here. But to create our citations, I'm going to use Citation Machine. I've also given you EasyBib. You can try out both and see which one you like better. I'm going to use Citation Machine for this screencast. I'm going to open that up, and then I'm going to use this sample essay for our first set of examples. In this essay, I'm going to show you how to create a works cited page. Because if we scroll down, you'll see it doesn't have a works cited page. And then I'm going to use a second essay to show you how to do correct citations in the text. So the idea is that you cite your you cite your sources at the end in a works cited list. And then each time you refer to the source inside the text of your essay, you give a citation for where you got that info. I'll show you what I mean as we go through the screencast. Okay, so this essay uses only Into the Wild as its source. So this is going to be fairly easy works cited. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to Citation Machine and we're going to click on MLA. And we're going to type in Into the Wild and see what happens. If we're using a website, of course, you're going to want to click on Website. But for book, that's the first one that comes up. So we're going to click Into the Wild. We're going to search books. And let's see here. Into the Wild, John Krakauer, Anchor Books. We're going to hit select. And that looks like it's going to work. Now, we may not have all the information. So that's where we're going to make sure we grab our book. I'm going to step away from my computer for just a moment to grab my book from my desk while I click Final Step. Okay, I'm back with my copy of my book, and I'm citing the whole book. And the author is John Krakauer. The source title is Into the Wild. I'm not worried about advanced info like volume or anything like that. Anchor Books. Let's just open it up and make sure. I'm going to go to the beginning. And yes, this is the first Anchor Books edition. But notice that it says 2007. And my book says it was published in 1997. So you'll want to open up your book to the title page and find when it was published so that you get the correct citation. So we're going to hit Create Citation. And there we go. There is my citation. I'm going to hit Copy. Highlight and copy, and then I'm going to go back to my essay, Now you can do a whole new page if you want, or you can center just below your text, below your last paragraph. And in this case, you could say work cited since it's just one work. And see how it comes out with the background like that? So I'm going to change that. I'm going to go up here. Let me get rid of the highlight. Text color, highlight none, so that it doesn't have that funky highlight. And then I'm going to get rid of this funky extra space. And print just means that I have the book in my hand in a print version as opposed to being on the web. Okay, so that looks good. Now I'm just going to double check something. I'm going to go back to my citation resources because I think that this should be capitalized into the wild here. But I'm just going to double check that. If you have a question, Purdue University's online writing lab is an excellent source. So if we go back over to this page, we click on MLA Works Cited page books. Let's see here, title of book. Okay, so that leads me to conclude that it should be like this. I'm going to change it to that. The can be left lowercase. Words like the, of, or the letter A, if it's not the first word of the title. Those, what my high school AP English teacher called itty bitty words. Those itty bitty words, prepositions, or articles typically are lowercase. If you're not sure, just ask me and I'll help you with it. So I've got my work cited here and I'm good to go. Now, I'm going to go over to sample essay number 2. And here, if we scroll down, I've got my work cited page. Notice that this citation has what's called a hanging indent. And if you aren't sure how to do that hanging indent, if you go back to our resources Google Doc and click on this link, it'll show you how to do it. It gives you directions for how to do it. If you need help with this, and to be honest, it took me like 3 or 4 tries to figure it out. If you need help with this, just let me know and I'll show you during class. So MLA works cited uses a hanging indent. In other words, if this were 8 lines long, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and all the way up to the 8th line would be indented, not the first line. It's the opposite of what we usually do. Don't have to worry about it here because it's just one. It's just one. It's just one line. Notice that her citation is a little bit different from mine. That might be because she had a different edition of the book. And so I also just noticed that she had Into the Wild. Okay, I also had Into the Wild in italics, so I'm good to go. Okay, where the issue is with this sample essay is it has some mistakes in formatting. So I'm going to show you how the formatting should work. So notice that she quotes Krakauer on page 111, and that's an excellent quote. There is one formatting mistake. I'm going to switch this to suggesting so you can see the changes I'm making. This needs to go here. So this citation, parentheses, the last name Krakauer and the page number with no other punctuation. It just goes after the sentence. Okay, so let's see. Down here we've got another quote. Same thing. It's going to look like that. Now notice that there's this reference to this quote that was attributed to Bukowski and this other writer, Friedman. And this is a web article, an internet article, so you don't need a page number. You're just going to put the author's last name. And the author was Jeff Runer, I believe is how you pronounce his name. So I'm not going to worry about I'm not going to worry about a page number here, and it's correct. Now, one more thing we want to point out down here. I got a quote, so I'm going to move my quotation marks over here. But this should not be McCandless, right? Because we're not referring to a book that McCandless published. We're referring to Krakauer. So it's going to be Krakauer 108, and the same thing here. And that's how you do your citations in the text. If you refer to the book, you have to do an in-text citation. And that's the basic review for MLA when you're writing an essay. And if you have any questions, go back to the MLA resources for helpful tips or just ask for help during class.